Hey, this is Tracy Nelson with Creation Adventures and Outdoor Education. Today the education is going to be on home defense weapons, okay? And kind of give you a demonstration of the possibilities for buying a weapon for home defense. And really, it's going to amount to what you're comfortable with and what you think you can operate safely and efficiently and accurately, okay? Because you don't want to be fumbling around with this thing if you're in a stressful situation where somebody's trying to commit acts of violence against you, okay? So here's the thing. I don't ever want to have to shoot anybody with a firearm, right? I don't. I'm a Christian. The Bible teaches us to love people. I want to love people as much as I can. But there comes times where people are bent on violence. They're determined to commit acts of violence against either me or my family or you or your family, and you have to take a stand. You have to protect. And at that time, then you'll be glad you have a firearm to protect yourself. Okay. So the first thing I would say is, if you're not familiar with firearms, if you don't think you'll be one of those that practices a lot, then I would stay away from the handguns. Now, somebody may disagree with that, but in my experience in 32 years of law enforcement and teaching and helping people shoot firearms, a lot of people have handguns, but the majority of people don't shoot near enough, don't train near enough with their handguns to be safe and accurate with them. Okay, they're not very proficient, and I've watched this over and over, the way they handle it, what they know about it, the way it functions. So what I'm going to suggest is you consider just a single shot shotgun possibility. It's cheap. It's not going to cost very much, and as far as a home defense weapon, it's hard to beat a shotgun. Okay. Now I've got these targets set up, and I have this break action shotgun. Okay. We're gonna shoot it. That's a 410. If you're not familiar with the way shotguns are sized, and this is a 20 gauge. Okay, that's a 410 gauge. This is a 20 gauge. Now this is not a single shot. This is what they call a slide action or a pump shotgun. Okay, and there again, if you think if you know how to work one of these, and if you're going to shoot, on a regular basis, this might be something you would consider. This is a youth model Remington 870 20 gauge. This other one I have is a Rossi youth model, and so most of the time ladies are smaller and have a smaller reach. Both of these will fit the ladies well as far as something that they can use for home defense. Now, and also the recoil on both of these is not that great. Okay, which also helps in your teaching and in your training. I mean, okay. And then here, this is another break action. You can pick these up for probably under $150 in most places, and I'm going to show you how that one works also. This is a 12 gauge. This is a H&R topper. All right, old standby. So what I'll do is I'll shoot each one of those targets, and then we'll go up and I'll kind of show you how this plays out. I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm shooting as far as the ammo. So first, I'm going to shoot some number 6 shots, and I'll shoot this target on the right, this white. It's called a Q target. Okay, that's as far as this is simple, right? You just load one, all right, in the chamber, and then you're just going to cock the hammer, and it's ready to shoot. Now, always remember, you always want to point the firearm, point your muzzle down range in a safe direction. So let's shoot that. All right, my weapon's clear, made it safe. I'm going to set that weapon over here. Now next, we'll shoot this 20 gauge, and I'm shooting, these are turkey loads number 6s. And what I want to shoot for this one is I'm going to shoot that, you see that yellow squash that I have up there? Just watch that squash. We'll go up there and look at that in just a second. Those are number 6s, okay? I'll talk to you about the different shots in just a second. Now, on this one, this 12 gauge, we're going to shoot some buckshot at the green target. Ooh, that thing kicks. All right, cleared my weapon, made it safe. I've got them all standing over here. Now what we'll do now is we'll go up. Now I'm about 18 yards away, so I'm a little further than you would be in most housing situations. Now you can see why I would recommend a shotgun for somebody that's not going to shoot a lot, because the chances are that you have a really good chance, if somebody comes into your home, you have a really good chance of hitting them with that shotgun. That's the 410 shotgun. Now, as far as the 20 gauge, you can see that where the 6 shot scraped it, I really didn't get a good hit on that. I'm gonna have to try that again. And then this is the buckshot. I didn't get him right in the center, but you can see the holes that buckshot, and actually there's the wadding that holds the pellets is embedded into the cardboard behind that target. So you can also see this would do some great damage to somebody when they come into your home. Now, why am I showing you all this? Well, a lot of people think that if they're going to use a shotgun in the home that they need to use buckshot. That may or may not be the case. Something you always got to keep in mind is that most of the walls in houses are not going to stop those rounds. So if you have people in rooms in your house, you got to consider that these rounds could possibly go through the walls. I mean, all this has to be taken into consideration when you're talking about home defense. Okay, like I said, from here to there is about, I stepped it off, it's about 18 yards, which that would be a really big room in a house for most people. That would be a really nice sized room. This distance right here is farther in my house from the farthest place I can go in my kitchen to the front door. This is further than that, so that's why I'm shooting at this distance. Okay, so those are some things to consider. All right, so we'll do it again. And there again, the 410, very little recoil on the 410. Now, let's just say you're not familiar with weapons at all, and you just pulled it up, and let's say you just shot it from here. I shot for the head, okay? I cleared it, made it safe. Let's go back to the 20 gauge. What I'll do is I'll shoot that green target in the head with my 20 gauge and see how that goes. All right, made it safe, clear. And then, I don't really want to, but I'll show you. And some people think that you need a slug. You can shoot, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to shoot that slug. So we'll try that buckshot again. And I'll just shoot. You see the tennis ball hanging up on the left? We'll just shoot that with that buckshot. Whew. Made it clear, made it safe. All right, once again, let's just go up and have a look. All right, so once again, I covered the whole target with that 410. I didn't even aim, and there's more pellets here than it was last time. And here here's the number 6 shot from the 20 gauge. I aimed him at the head. You can tell this would mess a person up at that range. That's brutal right there, and that's traveling at a high velocity. And then of course I just shot one of the tennis balls with that buckshot. But you can see the place in the dirt where that buckshot landed. All right, so that's just a quick lesson, if you will, before you go. And a lot of people they automatically think of a handgun. And I'm going to shoot some handguns for you and show you some different kinds of handguns. But most people, like I said, in my experience, and take it for what it's worth, but I had 32 years in law enforcement, and a lot of that time I spent teaching people how to shoot and handle safely and how to shoot accurately firearms. How to shoot firearms accurately and safely, okay? And I could just tell you, even some of the guys that I worked with, they didn't shoot their handguns, they didn't train near enough with them to be proficient, and some of them weren't safe with them, and they carried them every day. So out of the last 35 years, I have been a law enforcement officer for 32, so I carried a sidearm for 32 of the last 35 years of my life. And so it's important, if you're going to have a handgun for home defense, and especially if you're going to carry one, say a concealed carry or whatever, that you're very proficient with it, that you're accurate, that you have trained and you know your weapon. And we'll talk some more about that on the next video.